try to get yourself going. Straighten that back out. Yep, right there. You're going to drop on your passenger, but there's rocks there. Raymond wanted to try a little bit of mud, poked it with his stick, but it's frozen on top, soft in the middle. It's like an M&M, man. Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to Prodigal Overland. My name is Brad. If you're new here, welcome. Today we are here at Hotsprings ORV Park. It is like still 27 degrees. If you caught last week's video, we were out scoping out some trails. Today, which is just the next day for me, we've got everybody here and we're about to hit out the trails. I want to kind of show you who's with us. So we're going to do a little walk around of the rigs that are here. And then we're going to get going and get out on some trails.
Howdy, Dennis back out here with Prodigal Overland. Got my 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited with the Hemi. I've got Chief Products rock rails, the front guard, the sump guard, and the transmission guard. And off-road animal front recovery points and their bull bar. And Shield Productions has a couple skid plates I have, like the fuel filler skid plate and the wiring harness skid plate.
Cool. And you've got the coil suspension.
Coil suspension, no ELSD.
Right, Quadra-Track 2.
Yep.
Awesome, thanks man.
My name is Buddy, Beast Mode WK_WK2. Happy to be out here again with Brad. I've got a 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland. It's the Eco Diesel. I've got just the Airlinks leveling kit. I'm running a 275 6518 Falcon Wild Peak AT3. Recently did off-road animal rock rails, and I've got the Chief Products sump plate. Next one's going to be the lower fascia and the Mopar skid plate. I do get a lot of people that ask if I've had any issues. I guess the diesels are known to have issues with it. Recently, within the last month, I did have a check engine light that came on for the emissions. They replaced the DPF filter as well as the catalytic converters, and since then, haven't had any issues at all.
So guys, this is Raymond and Lee's rig, and this is one of the first times we've been out with somebody that's got predominantly off-road animal gear. So if you're in the market, here is kind of what their gear looks like. We'll try to walk through it a little bit. Kind of show you what they got. So Raymond and Lee, they've got the, looks like their kind of lower front guard, and then underneath is a sump plate.
Swinging around the side here is the off-road animal rock rails. This was actually the first time we got to see the rock rails, or I got to see them up close and personal. There are some differences between off-road animals, rock rails, and Chiefs, and I wanted to point them out to you. If you come up under the Jeep, what you're going to see here is the underside of the frame, the body, and Chiefs actually covers this whole area. So where you see these mount points here, like this area here, is covered with the Chief rock rails, where it's not with the off-road animals. Another functional difference that I found between off-road animal and Chief products was in the recovery points. The recovery points from off-road animal have a much smaller hole in them than do the Chief products, so you definitely would need an extra attachment point, a soft shackle, a clevis, something like that, to actually use the recovery points from off-road animal. Whereas Chief products has a larger hole, and with my winch, just that hook, I can hook into them and I don't need an extra attachment point.
Okay, we made it to our first Jeep Badge of Honor trail today, which will be Snake. So we did just a little warm-up run, Grand Cherokee Challenge, which was basically insulting to you if you're a Grand Cherokee owner. I think they're trying to be funny. Anyway, we did that for a little warm-up. Now we're gonna head to Snake, which is rated a 2 out of 5. And from what I see is the easiest Badge of Honor trail. So we'll head down there and see what it's like.
I wanted to give you guys just a little bit more backstory of the Jeeps that we have out with us. So Dennis right behind us has the 2017 Limited. He's in the coil suspension stock ride height. So he's definitely the lowest of all the Jeeps we had out. This is his 3rd time out with us, and it's been a lot of fun to see his skills kind of improve. I think the very first time he was out with us was the very first time he was out off-roading. Behind him, the other white Jeep, not to confuse anybody, is Raymond and Lee's Jeep. It's actually Lee's Jeep, and Lee is letting Raymond drive it through this weekend. But this is actually his very first time out off-road. So he's not had this thing out at all. And then Buddy, the diesel, this is, I believe, probably his 2nd time out off-road and his 2nd trip with us. So Buddy and Becca are along for the ride. So just keep that in mind as you're watching today's video.
I think that sign is saying that this is safe and that is safe. Once you get up past this, it's fine. You have a running desire to do that sign?
Yeah.
You want to try? It looks like slate. I mean, I imagine that's probably...
What you're seeing here is us debating which line we want to take. There is a split on Snake where there's a section where you can take an easier line and then a more difficult line. And as always, if we do the hard lines, I'm going first.
Last little step up, I'm wondering.
Yeah.
He's gonna come this way. Come up towards me.
Hold there, in case he needs to back up.
Sam, look at me. Over that way, please. I think he stopped at the wrong spot. He's gonna have to back up. Yeah, take it higher. So he's going to go around so you can get a better approach angle here to take the other side up. They're in the back of the car, honey, at the top of the hill. They're in the trunk. There you go. Wiggle your tires just slightly when it does that, and it might grab better grip. Brad, you got any? All right, good job, guys. Woohoo!
Take this line or that line?
I think you could do this, right?
Yeah, you can go that way. It gets easier.
Sam, off the trail! It's all right. It was just something that was trying to travel with you. Watch, Brad. You kicked up a lot of rocks. I don't want you to get whacked.
Oh, okay, never mind.
It is, yeah.
So back up a touch.
It's been debadged.
Good. Cut your wheels towards your passenger. And just steady on the throttle till you get over that section. Let's talk about what's going to happen here, okay?
You got it, man.
Keep on it, don't let off.
Right now, my dad is coaching him on how to get up this obstacle, which I'll show you in a minute.
Right here, this front wheel just needs a little bit different spot to catch and get you going. That's why I didn't want to kind of backing up. But this tire, I mean, maybe just slightly driver, yeah. But that's the line. You're gonna hold. You see the line I'm talking about, right? Like up over. But it's gonna have to be just a moderate, consistent throttle. A little more driver. Driver, little driver. Yep, right there. You might need to back up and, like, I think you kind of hurt yourself when you let off the forward momentum. But hey, don't let it, if you need to back up and just come down. Keep on that throttle. You feel you let off, you get going, you let off. Your line needs to be just a little bit more driver on that. Come back a little more, I'll tell you when to stop. Try that. Right there, hold that, let me come up. Alright, that's the line. You just gotta try to get yourself going.
He made it.
When in doubt, throttle out. He doesn't want to.
This is the
Don't let the ego
obstacle.
get to you. Hey, good job.
Goes all the way down there. It's not horrible. It wouldn't be horrible if it didn't have all these loose rocks, and that's what's making it so hard.
Hold up, okay.
Keep on the throttle a little bit.
You got it, man.
As you can see here, we actually got to see a bunch of Cherokee trailheads action out on Snake on this trail. So it was a little fun. It was the first time I had seen a Cherokee out
Took that pretty
off-roading.
easy.
So it was fun to watch. The gray Jeep here is trying to negotiate the same obstacle I went up and the one you just saw Raymond go up. Definitely, I'm not sure what their drive. I know they have lockers in the back, full lockers, but that front differential or whatever's going on there does not seem to be as advanced as what's in a Grand Cherokee. I don't believe this owner made it up, and we actually saw him later with a nice dent in his fender, I believe, from this section.
He's past the rock. He's past it. You okay there, Becca?
I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the ladies that came along with us on this trip. I know for Becca it was her second time out off-road. I think for the other two ladies it was their very first, and we found that the women in our group can tend to be a little more tentative, especially in the beginning. It's also been our experience that even though the ladies start maybe feeling timid, by the end of the event, the end of the trip, everyone's just having a great time.
All right. How'd you do coming up that, all right? Was it? I was trying to get out fast enough, but we couldn't stop. Yeah, Dennis. Woo! Dennis left his mark. Yeah. Bummer.
Okay, so we have finished up Snake, came back for lunch. If you saw last week's video, you know that I was having issues with my air suspension. Once again, it is fixed itself. So, like I said, this vehicle does have some personality. It was some sort of electrical something that I think if it just sat, it leveled itself out. It was fine the whole time on Snake, so hopefully that holds true. We're about to head back up the ridge here, just to kind of see. I think we might look at Rubicon Ridge, just so the folks with us can see it, which is another Jeep Badge of Honor trail, but I'm not sure we're gonna do that. So we're gonna stick around with that. A couple other things to note with Snake. It's definitely a very windy trail, so the name is very fitting. It is a lot of fun. The first half was definitely easier than the second half. It gets a little more rocky towards the end and some good climbing.
We're at the top of Rubicon Ridge, right? Woo! Cool.
As you can see here, we were walking towards the trailhead of Rubicon Ridge, and there was actually quite a bit of discussion and deliberation between the husbands and wives on this trail, whether or not it was a good idea to bring their, for some of them, their primary vehicles down this trail. I did my best to stay out of it and let them discuss. We did end up, I think the husbands won out, and we did end up doing Rubicon Ridge. Guys, if you want to see that video, you're gonna have to tune in later for that video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not yet a subscriber of our channel, consider subscribing, and we will see you guys again real soon.